This is a new day. This is a new day full of sound and light and expectation. This day has been waiting for you. This day has been waiting especially for you, to embrace you, to guide you. This day has been waiting with open arms, just for you. This is the day we have been given. Let's not waste it. Come now, and let us worship together. Welcome, everybody. My name is Reverend Joseph Boyd. We are streaming live via Zoom at 1105 Elm Street. And this is a community that's very, very special. We have consistently, over decades, for 125 years, centered the marginal and the vulnerable. And that is exactly what we are doing right now in this moment. We've decided to move completely to virtual worship via Zoom instead of holding in-person gatherings so that we can delay the transmission of this virus, COVID-19, and help the most medically vulnerable among us get the care they need so that they're not turned away in a hospital that is overwhelmed by patients. So we do have lots of announcements. We're going to be moving everything to Zoom, not just Sunday service, but if you are conducting a group, a ministry, a discussion, meditation even, use our platform. Please be in touch with myself, or you can email the office, and we will work with you to be able to set that up. It can be done through phone, it can be done through webcam. We're going to be moving everything virtually. So we will be here to support you in making that transition. So I'm so glad that you're here joining. I think this is a new way of expressing community, a new way of expressing what kindness and love look like. And really, it's a manifestation of what justice looks like when we care for the most vulnerable among us. So again, welcome.
Mommy, why is the world shutting down? A question from a little girl tugging at her mom's sleeve as they stood in the checkout line in front of me. She didn't ask it with fear or resignation or despair. Like kids do, she just wanted an answer. I never thought I'd hear such a question in line at a grocery store. What kind of times are we in that a child would ask that? Because of the COVID-19 epidemic, a virus none of us had heard of a few months ago, that wasn't even known to exist a few months ago, we are living in very strange times indeed. Her mom didn't respond. Her expression, like all of the other adults in line, was hard to read. She was looking at her phone, scrolling away. If, like me, she was on the Amazon app, she'd soon discover, as I did, that Amazon, that monolith of buy it now and receive it fast, was out of stuff, regular stuff, the kind many of us have taken for granted. Tylenol, cleaning products, toilet paper. In that moment, and many more since, it really did seem like the world is shutting down. But I remind myself, the birds are still singing. My cats watch them in the windows, enjoying when I take a moment to stroke their soft fur or throw them a toy. The sun is rising and setting. People in Italian towns are raising their voices in song across balconies of self-quarantine so their voices can join together even if their hands cannot. In Portland, Oregon, a distillery is using their alcohol byproduct to make hand sanitizer and giving it out for free. My herbalist friend is posting on Facebook about safe and accessible herbs to naturally boost our immune systems. A man, used to visiting his wife daily at her memory care facility, instead grabbed handfuls of snow and made a snowman, waving hello to her outside her window. People are calling their friends, family, a neighbor down the street to make sure everyone's okay. It is often in the darkest skies that we see the brightest stars, says one of my favorite inspirational quotes. I feel there are so many bright examples right now of grace and connection, no matter how dark the sky may look. I don't know how I would have answered that child in line if she had asked me why the world is shutting down. Like most grown-ups, I'd probably give the answer that frustrates kids everywhere. It's complicated. I hope that I'd also say, where some things are shutting down, other things, such as kindness and concern for one another, like stars in the night sky, are beginning to shine their brightest. We light this chalice as a reminder of the bright light we each carry within us, so that we can offer it up like stars in the sky and share it with all the world.
Please join me from home in reading our covenant. I know most of you know it by heart. It begins very importantly. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So we have decided we're going to continue with our offertory while we are experimenting with virtual technology. Our giveaway, the plate recipient, is the League of Women Voters of Youngstown. It is a tradition now in this church that we give 100% of our loose offering to a community organization that supports transformation in our community. You may be asking, how will you do that? Well, I've discovered that the League of Women Voters of Youngstown does have an online option. Within the next couple of days, we will be posting that on our website. If technology is a bit difficult for you to get access to, another option is that you can write a check right now during the music offertory and send it to the church. And we will send that to the League of Women Voters of Greater Youngstown. So I'll read you a little bit about their mission statement. The League of Women Voters of Youngstown was established in 1930 after the right to vote for women was passed and is the nation's most effective grassroots organization. In addition to our work in the elections area, League volunteers work on issues of local importance, from education to land use to housing. The League of Women Voters does not support or oppose any candidates for office or any political parties. The League of Women Voters wants everyone to vote, so our elected leaders represent our entire community, which is very important. Even though we're in the middle of an epidemic, we do have an election coming up. So the League of Women Voters works to connect people directly with government, provides and works from facts, educates, and advocates for change. So please support the League of Women Voters of Greater Youngstown. Again, you can check on our website in a couple days, or you can send a check directly to the church, 1105 Elm Street, Youngstown 44509, and we will give that to the League of Women Voters. We'll now receive that offering. Please join me from home in a period of meditation. You can settle yourself in your chair, or if you're lying down or walking, just take a moment to be still and be with us in spirit. Wuhan, China, South Korea, Italy, Europe, the United States, Seattle, Los Angeles, New York, Cleveland, Warren in Trumbull County, Youngstown. That is a great distance to travel. Yet here we are, in a shared predicament. We are connected, bound together across great distance, in an attempt to delay a new strain of virus from wreaking havoc on our people. There's already been lots of havoc. I'm now having trouble finding toilet paper, and I've given up on trying to buy hand sanitizer. There's been a recommendation to stockpile food and supplies for the next 2 weeks. But I can't help but think of those who struggle just to live day by day. I am aware of the great shift that has happened in our nation the last few days. Children are home from school. Churches are closed for in-person gatherings, which we hate to do. Even the NBA and other sports franchises are postponing their season. It is common now to read the sign, canceled, or postponed, or temporarily unavailable. 2020 has been a roller coaster of a year. After great fear of entering a potential war with Iran, a heated domestic primary that is leaving many worried and dissatisfied, the concerned state of our environment, and now this. It is during times like this that I remind myself of something I find great power in, and that comforts me when I'm stressed and feel like I'm losing control, and I feel panic beginning to set in. I remind myself of a simple truth, that I may not be able to control completely what happens to me, but I do have some power over how I choose to respond. I want to be very clear about this power. It is not the power to override our emotion. It is not a mechanical power that will magically quell our anxiety. It is not a power to overcome our humanity and the feelings that go with being human. It's a choice about what to do with our feelings. It's a choice about what to do with our humanity. Given this power of choice, we have an incredible opportunity ahead of us. It is a life-saving opportunity. It is a life-giving opportunity. For some of us, it may be the first time we get a taste for what life is really about. It's a unique time. The Center of Disease Control and our statewide Ohio Health Director have introduced this term into the common language: social distancing. This term means exactly what it implies: keeping a distance from socializing with other humans in close proximity. It is a temporary measure to delay the spread of this virus through community transmission and allow our hospitals a chance to care for the most medically vulnerable so they will not be turned away due to overcrowding of our hospitals. It's a temporary measure, In a way, it goes against our nature. Most of us, in varying degrees, are fed by being with one another. We are fed by hearing each other's laughter. We are fed by touch, giving each other a hug, being close with those we love and have come to depend on. We are asked to do something which is not natural to many of us. It is certainly not natural to me. This is a tricky time because we are being asked to be diligent in a very specific way by not gathering together in person, not touching, and not to do all the things we have come to do in order to feel connected, loved, and not alone. The tricky part of this is we know from disease experts that this act of social distancing will not cure or put an end to this virus. It will only delay it. It is estimated by the Ohio Health Director, Dr. Amy Acton, that approximately 60% of the population in Ohio will contract this virus and have variable symptoms, or in some cases, no symptoms. This means that it is possible that over half of us will come in contact with this. This doesn't need to be something we should fear. It is something to be aware of. It is tricky to practice diligent social distancing while holding the perspective that contracting this virus is likely for many of us. We do not need to be scared of encountering this virus, but we are being asked to be cautious so that spread doesn't overwhelm our population at such a rate that people cannot get the care they need. Delaying the inevitable, or flattening the curve, as it's called, is not in itself a very compelling vision for the next 3 or 4 weeks, in my opinion. Delaying the inevitable is not a compelling enough vision to endure the hardships we are experiencing. Stress on work, stress on family, stress on worrying about each other, especially those who have health issues and who are elderly. We need something more than this in order to get through these next few weeks, and maybe more, with our humanity intact. As some of you know, we are in the period of Lent in the Christian calendar. Lent is a time of giving up something we are accustomed to, something that gives us comfort, but is not truly necessary, in order to discover something truly life-saving, something wise. I couldn't think of a more opportune time for this virus to arrive. In many of the Eastern Christian churches, they cover up statues and icons that typically give the people a source of strength and comfort, so that they might develop a wider and deeper understanding of strength and comfort. By circumstance, I am also requiring that of you, and so is our collective culture. It was a very difficult decision to close in-person gatherings, because I know for many of you, this kind of gathering feeds your spirit and gives you the strength you need to face your week. It was difficult to decide to temporarily not offer that comfort and strength in a time when we really need comfort and strength, especially since we have offered that comfort and strength for 125 years consistently. But a few days later, I see it differently. It is important to care for the most vulnerable among us. and give people the care they need to sustain life. But more than that, I understand there's also another spiritual component to this. We are being asked to feel our connection to each other and our neighbor in a radically different way. We are being denied our usual way of relating and finding meaning and comfort. In denying ourselves something we've come to rely on for the greater good, I think we are primed to discover a wider and deeper vision of community. We are learning that we are connected closely to those we never see, those we never meet, those we never touch. We are learning that our actions have an impact that is global, and that is true for every single action. Every single action, not just this virus. This has powerful implications. This means when you smile, it's not just for yourself and those who see your face and feel that warmth. It is for the whole world. When you take a walk and appreciate the coming of spring, it is not just you that is nourished and uplifted. It is the entire globe, the entire world that is nourished and uplifted. When you take a bite of food and are grateful to be alive, it is not just you that feels grateful for being alive. It is the world becoming grateful for being alive. This is an incredibly powerful thing, and this is within our power. Maybe social distancing will teach us something very valuable. We don't need to physically see each other or touch each other in order to provide care and inspiration for each other. In fact, that care and inspiration might even be heightened by social distance. It is a fact that you are loved and never truly alone. And social distancing does not diminish that fact. It heightens it. It deepens it. It widens it. It has the power to show us nuances that we often miss and show us just how deep and wide this connection goes. The whole world is right here. The whole world. All of you, right here. We are all in this moment together. The whole world is right here when we drink our coffee, as we walk quietly in nature. The whole world is with you when you smile to an anxious coworker to comfort them. We have the opportunity of discovering a kind of community that is not limited by physical proximity of who we can see and who we can touch. A simple act of kindness, even to ourselves, alone, in our house as we commonly see it, goes way beyond ourselves. This act of kindness, caring for ourselves, caring for our health, caring for our loved ones' health, it spans the globe. It is here in Youngstown. An act of kindness here travels all the way to Trumbull County in Warren. It goes to Cleveland. It goes to New York. It goes to Los Angeles. It goes to Seattle. It goes to Europe. It goes to South Korea. It goes all the way back to Wuhan, China. Please pray with me. Spirit of love, we are grateful to be alive on this day. Please help us to be grateful for that. Please give us the willingness to reach out by phone to those who may be vulnerable among us. Please give us the vision to see what needs we can fill in our community in a way that keeps ourselves safe. Please give us the wisdom in this time to trust that our connection goes far beyond what we see. All this we pray. Amen. What a great piece. We extinguish this flame, but never the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we keep in our hearts until we meet again. I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. As you depart, wherever you are, even if it's just to another room, please remember the one great fact. You are loved and never truly alone. Please join us for a talk back. I'm going to be going into the office, and Jennifer and I will be in there, and we want to hear about how this experience went for you, and if there's something we can do to serve your needs and make it better for you. Thank you for joining us.